Thank you, Madam President, and good afternoon. I just want to rise briefly to be on the record on the bill before us and to express my dissatisfaction. I guess I really just don't like the idea that I find myself in the position of voting in favor of approving a negotiated settlement, partly because if I don't vote in favor of it, there is a potential for a more costly outcome that will hurt my constituents, and because of an agreement that was passed back in 2011 that I did not vote for, and the governor and this legislature failed to live up to, such is the dilemma that is before me and the rest of the members of this chamber on a regular basis, that we end up voting up or down on things that we are not 100-0, but rather 51-49 on. So we are here because of the state budget that was passed in 2011. And anyone that was here might remember that budget as the one where we passed the largest tax hike on the citizens of Connecticut in our state history. And this arrangement, which I would describe as a rigged system or even a scam, is the kind of thing that we should not be doing as a state legislature. And just for the edification of anyone listening, the scam is that the state was going to tax hospitals in a way that caused the federal government to give both the state and ultimately the hospitals a benefit. Of course, it's all taxpayer money. And it's exactly the last kind of thing that our constituents expect from us, that we would come up with some kind of cockamamie conceived plan to defraud the federal government to benefit the state's coffers, to expand our state government. It was a terrible idea then, and I voted no. It's just simply not the proper role of government. And now today, I have this choice. I either get to vote in favor of this plan, which is going to cost the taxpayers of the state of Connecticut, I've calculated $872 million over the next 6 or 7 years. And if I don't, the potential is that we go back to court and the state's taxpayers end up paying a whole lot more. I feel like I'm being extorted to vote in favor of something that I never agreed to begin with. And my constituents, if they had known, would never have agreed to it either. Now, I don't blame the hospitals. They were put in a position back in 2011. I don't think they wanted that arrangement, but the governor came to them and put them in a spot to make it happen. And they did what anyone would do if they made an agreement that the other party didn't live up to. So I don't blame them for going to court either. And I don't blame them for coming to us. And ultimately, I'm not surprised that we have this settlement agreement before us. But I do have some concerns with the settlement agreement also. First and foremost, it's supposedly binding on future legislators. It says that future legislatures do not have the ability to pass legislation, that they cannot change the tax structure as it affects hospitals in a number of different ways. And right or wrong, I don't want to charge more taxes on anyone, but it's also not my right or anyone else in this room's right to be able to say that future elected legislators cannot pass whatever legislation they want. There was also, back in 2011, a chart of what was going to happen. In 2011, the tax was going to be so much, the federal grant was going to be so much, the state was going to get so much, the hospitals would get so much, and then in 2012 and 2013 and so forth. Well, obviously that chart did not come to fruition. So I ask my colleagues, do any of us think that the chart we have today about what the agreement is going forward is going to last till 2026? I highly doubt it. I'll be voting yes for the reasons I stated. But I would just remind everyone what our role is as a state legislature, and that is to represent our constituents. We're not here to make deals, to cut deals for the state. with various private entities, businesses, hospitals, corporations. That's not our job. We're here to represent our constituents and protect their rights. And I'll try my best to do so, and I hope I don't end up in this position too many more times this session, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Sampson. Senator Unwin.